I'd like to speak a little bit about our first reading, this book of the prophet Amos, and how he's sent by the Lord on this mission, preaching to Israel, repentance, conversion. But what's interesting to note is this passage we heard from Amos is kind of him defending himself for why he's doing what he's doing. So this priest, Amaziah, priest of Bethel, says, "Off with you, you visionary, get out of town. We don't want to listen to your prophecies because you're prophesying hard stuff for Israel, and we don't want to deal with it. We don't want to listen to you." But Amos says, I'm actually not a prophet. I'm not a part of this prophet's guild. So just to explain that, it was common in this time where there would be, to be a prophet would be a certain type of occupation. So there is these guilds of prophets, and that's how they would make their living, prophesying. And but all of the Israelite prophets, minus Isaiah, came not from the guild of prophets, the Lord chose them. So for Amos, he says, I was just a shepherd, and I was just a dresser of sycamore trees. And I'd actually rather be with the sheep and taking care of trees than doing what I'm doing. But the Lord called me, so I prophesy. So he finds himself in this situation where he's doing something he doesn't really want to do, and it's hard. The people of Israel are off with you. We don't want to hear your message of repentance, of conversion. But he says, I'm not even a part of the regular prophets. I'm only doing this because God called me. So here I am. I'm a shepherd. I'm going to preach. So perhaps we might think in our own life, has there ever been something that we've been asked to do that we didn't want to do? I know all of our hands could go up for that, right? But once we actually did it, there was such a joy and a contentment because it's what the Lord wanted for us. There was a fullness. The way we might measure our lives at times, we can't see what the Lord might ask and how it could be full. We have to trust into Him. So Amos says, "Okay, I'm just going to do it. I'm gonna preach," and he gets sent. So I almost chuckled when I was praying with this week because I felt a little bit like Amos in my life at times. When I was growing up, people would say, "Hey, Sam, have you ever thought about being a priest? We think you'd make a great priest." And I'd always be like, "Wow, that's a great compliment." But then inside I was like, "But no thanks, no way, I don't want to do that." And even my family would joke around and say, "Hey, have you ever thought about seminary, Sam?" And I'd say, "No, I don't want to do that. If anybody's going to be a priest in our family, make Alex do it, my older brother. He can be the priest." I'd put him forward and say, "He's the firstborn, make him do it," But it took a long time to grow into trust that actually the Lord's plan is more beautiful. It's more full for me and for my life. And I'm so happy to be a priest. I love being a priest. So in this gospel, the disciples are sent out 2 by 2, but they're sent out with basically nothing. They say, you can take a walking stick, but no money, no bag, no second tunic. You can wear sandals. So they got a walking stick and sandals. So the Lord is sending them out and to show them, I will provide for you. I actually have a plan for you, and I can take care of you. You don't need to bring an extra tunic. You don't need to bring a belt, a money bag. Just let me provide for you. Surrender into trust. But trust takes a long time, and we know this with our human relationships, how we grow with one another. Can we really share with one another? Can we trust? Can we grow deeper? And it's the same in our relationship with the Lord. But it's possible. The more we can surrender and trust into Him, we experience how much more that He has for us and for our life. Just this expansiveness of His love, of His generosity. Before we were even born, before we came here in our particular life, the Lord had a plan for us. And it might be different than what we can imagine, but it's more full, it's more free, it's more beautiful, it's the more. Now, it took me many, many years to finally say, okay, Lord, I'm gonna try to trust you in this. So I went to college, I studied finance and business, and then I graduated. I was working at Prudential Financial. I had this wonderful woman in my life. I really thought I was gonna get married, but there just wasn't this peace in my life. I just knew like, something's not right here. I think the Lord has a different plan for me. And I'm so grateful that he's so gentle and patient, because it took me a long time to recognize, wait a minute, he's actually trustworthy. I can actually trust him. Like, he has my best interests in mind. His plan for me, I don't see it all, but I'm in. I want to do it, Lord. And slowly, it becomes more clear in our particulars what that exact plan is. I'll just end with the beautiful words we heard from St. Paul. St. Paul talks about us, the Christian people, because of our baptism, as being a chosen race, that we're actually chosen by him. We're God's special possession. We're possessed by him. So he has us under his mantle, like this special care for us and for all the particulars and the details of our life. And surrendering into that in whatever small way we can do, small or big, helps us to taste more that he's trustworthy, that he has a plan for us. I just met with a beautiful young mother this week, and she was explaining that when she tries to control things in her life, it doesn't go well for her and for her family. She gets really stressed out, but she said, but Father Sam, when I surrender, I experience such peace. I just experience God as a gentle shepherd who can just shepherd me in this craziness of the phase of life that I'm in. And I was like, that's a profound grace to hold on to. When we can surrender, we experience that God can shepherd us here right now in this phase of life, that he has us. We're chosen in him, and he has a plan for each and every one of us.